Good morning. It's a movie, okay, but I'm not going to show you the movie. And I would like to start with a few quotations. First one is taken from a lecture held by Popper at a famous conference organized by INVALSI. No, it was not INVALSI, it was Horkheimer and Adorno. However, Popper says that so far as one can say that science or knowledge starts from something, one might say that following knowledge doesn't start from collection of data or facts, but starts rather from problems. And problems arise from the discovery of an inner contradiction between our supposed knowledge and supposed facts. Second quotation is from Max Weber, Methodological Essays. And Weber says, we all know that social science first arose in connection with practical considerations. Its most immediate purpose was the attainment of value judgments concerning measures of state economic policy. So Weber says, basically, at least it's the way I understand it. Weber says that science is not a cold matter. It's something hot, something which deals with passions. And passions play a role in selecting the problem. But once the problem, the issue has been selected, passions must step aside, and we must do our analysis with a more objective attitude, which Weber calls method. Okay, so there's room for passions and room for method. At least that's the way I see it. Okay, this is the problem which I met reviewing literature about school outcomes. A problem which deals with possible discrimination of foreign students. This is a study about Germany, and Germany is a country with a longer history of immigration than Italy. However, the same problem has been pointed by, with reference to Italy. For example, in a study made by Pini e Triventi, which used INVALSI data. They say, INVALSI being equal, foreign students tend to receive lower grades than natives, especially in primary schools. And foreign students born in Italy, second generation, are on average less penalized than those born abroad, first generation. But differences are small. Undervaluation varies according to subject, being slightly stronger in math rather than in Italian. Okay, so this is the problem, in my view. INVALSI being equal, foreign students tend to receive lower grades than natives. And we have to try to be objective. This is not a value judgment. I'm trying to talk about a possible fact that we later have to interpret. Okay, so first question, which I asked myself, is it true? Really? Does it hold? But however, obviously I have no reason to think that this is not true. And anyway, data are available, so I can replicate these results. So I set aside the problem of replication. And the second question is, if it's true, does it hold for all levels and years? Because there could be some random variations related to years, for example, or some variation in grades due to some structural reason. Okay. And third question is, if there is variation, do results vary by school and territory, and to what extent? So the issue of heterogeneity, and especially geographical heterogeneity. Okay, I'm not going to go through all these arguments, obviously, and I will try to focus on school and geographical variation. Okay, I focus on students attending the second grade of upper secondary school. Okay, and the year of reference is 2017-2018. okay, just 1 year. And these are variables which I'm most interested in. First one is first term grade in mathematics, okay, and I've taken mathematics because I like it more. That's all. And no, there are reasons, but I will skip on them here. Okay, this is my response variable, which is distributed in quite an approximately normal way. Obviously, it's an approximation because it's not a continuous variable, but this approximation is a good starting point. It helps me to keep things simple. Okay, and the focus variable is lower left. No, it's lower right. Plus one, citizenship. Okay, this is the distribution of students according to citizenship. We've got a lot of Italians, quite a substantive number of first generation and second generation students, and some students whose citizenship is unknown. This one, obviously, I have to set aside. Okay, I don't consider them in analysis. Then there is INVALSI score, which is a little bit skewed. There's skewness in this distribution, but it's not a problem. And fourth variable is school type. INVALSI score and school type are used to stratify the population. Okay. Okay, I estimate a simple linear regression model with normally distributed residuals, where midterm grade is the response, and these are the predictors. My focal predictors is citizenship, which is indicated with a dummy for foreign students, and then the other predictor. I even consider interactions between citizenship and school type. Okay, I have estimated a set of models of growing complexity, beginning from the null model and then introducing predictors one at a time. Okay, there are a lot of numbers here and obviously too many, but I just want to focus that model one, the mean difference between Italian students who are the reference category and first generation, second generation student is quite relevant. INVALSI being equal, foreign students tend to receive on average a score which is 1/3 of a point lower. Okay, INVALSI being equal in mathematics. And this difference tends to shrink once we, this is the mean difference not considering INVALSI. Okay, 1/3 of point, not consider. This is the average difference in evaluation at midterm. Once we introduce INVALSI score, so we stratify population according to INVALSI, this difference shrinks to about 1/10 of point. Okay, even though it remains relevant. The interesting thing is that this difference is not the same according to type of school. There is a significant interaction between penalization and type of schools. And here I have plotted the results. For four macro types of school supplied by INVALSI, which are science lyceums, other kind of lyceums, technical school and professional schools. I use the same scale for all plots. Okay, so you can see the difference is not so relevant. Okay, it's not that huge, even though it's significant. Okay, if it's a problem, okay, later. The interesting thing, I think, is that this kind of difference is higher in scientific lyceum and other kinds of lyceums, and tends to be smaller in technical school and professional vocational schools. In a professional school, there is almost no difference in first term scores, INVALSI being equal. And this is possibly related to the fact, which was told yesterday, that in professional schools, foreign students tend to change their opinion about the going on in their studies. It's possible. I don't know, but it could be possible. There is less penalization with regard to Italians, to this point. Another interesting thing in this plot is that INVALSI being equal, schools tend to grade very differently students. Okay, science lyceums tend to be much more strict. Okay, they give lower grades. We knew that, but it's nice to see it. Okay, I'm especially interested in territorial heterogeneity. Okay, so I try to exploit territorial information supplied by INVALSI at its finest level, which is that of local labor systems or labor market areas. Local market areas are groups of municipalities which are defined by ISTAT according to commuting flows. Okay, it's something more than municipality, something less than province. It's not totally correct, but just to give you an idea. It's an intermediate level, but it's nice because they are effectively local labor markets. So they tend to be homogeneous according to many social characteristics. So, my estimation strategy. I estimated a multi-level model where obviously with varying intercepts by local labor market, but even with varying slopes for the difference in scores, INVALSI being equal. So I have both varying intercepts and varying slopes for citizenship. And in this model, obviously, I have to introduce the INVALSI score in order to stratify the population according to INVALSI score. Okay, and so it's a very big model. It's a model with about 1,200 parameters. But I have a lot of data. I have almost something less than 500,000 data. So I'm confident that I can estimate the model. And these are the results plotted on a map. Okay, this is the possible discrimination of foreign students. It's technically the difference in mean score controlling for INVALSI in almost all Italian labor markets. And red means higher difference, and yellow a smaller difference. Geographical differences are quite relevant because we go from almost half a point, which is a relevant difference, a relevant potential penalization, to almost no penalization. And what is interesting in this area, in this map, is that clearly there is a special correlation. Okay, data are not distributed randomly, but clusters are quite scattered. There are some clusters which can be identified, for example, in the Northeast. In the Northeast, I have a cluster of areas with low penalization. Okay, but in the Northeast, in the Emilia-Romagna, in some areas, but for example, in the center of Italy, I have clusters with high level of penalization. Okay, what does it mean? I have no idea. I have huge problems of technical problems, of measurement, of model estimation. These are all features that I have to improve. Okay, so anyway, it's time for passions. Okay, we try to be objective. Now we can use our passions. Okay, obviously an interpretation is needed. I just quote interpretation given by Pini e Triventi in their article. They say, some authors suggest that teachers tend to reward not only academic skills, but also the level of commitment towards studying. Others that, in the case of foreign students, linguistic barriers may play a role. However, we can't exclude, based on available data, that some kind of statistical discrimination is at work. Teachers, whereas uncertain about the evaluation of immigrant students, might be influenced by ethnic stereotypes, being inclined to grade them a bit lower than natives. And I don't know, I have no idea, but we can exclude. I think this is the right observation. That's all.